In a village where green fields met dusty lanes, there lived a woman named Soraya. She was nearly 80, her silver hair coiled in a careful bun, and she wore a smile that seemed unbreakable. Her small home of mud bricks sat in the shade of a great neem tree. Inside were only the necessities to clay pots for water, a simple stove, a wooden cot that whispered with the wind. She lived alone. Her husband had passed many years before, and her only son had left for the city long ago and never returned. The villagers would sometimes murmur as she passed, "Poor Soraya, all alone, and yet she smiles as if her heart is light." That summer, a young woman named Tanya came from Mumbai to visit her grandfather. Tanya carried a quiet despair within her. She had failed her medical entrance exam, felt the sting of a friend's betrayal, and lived beneath the weight of her parents' expectations. Each evening she sat by herself, feeling numb and asking the silent air, "Why does everything hurt so much?" One morning, walking near the neem tree, Tanya saw Soraya scattering rice for sparrows, humming a soft, old song. Her eyes were calm, her smile easy even toward those who walked by without a word. Day after day, Tanya watched her. There was a grace in her movements, a peace that didn't match her circumstances. Finally, one evening, Tanya gathered her courage and approached. "Grandmother," she said softly, "may I sit with you?" Soraya's face warmed. "Come, child. This is the hour when the tree shares its kindest shade." They sat together quietly before Tanya found her words. "You've lost so much," she began, "and yet you smile as if you've lost nothing at all." How Soraya's gentle laugh was like dry leaves rustling. "This smile was not always here, my dear. It arrived only after many storms. Would you like to know how?" Tanya nodded. "When I was young, I married a kind man. We had a son, and life was simple and full. But one winter, my husband grew terribly ill. There was no doctor nearby, no money for medicine. He left this world in my arms, his last words asking me to be strong." Soraya's voice was steady, but her eyes grew distant. "I lived only for my son after that. I cleaned houses, washed clothes, sometimes even asked for help, just to keep him fed and in school. Years went by. He found work in the city and left. I waited for his letters, his visits, but with time, even his memory seemed to fade." Tanya's eyes glistened. "You never went to him." "I did. Once," Soraya said quietly. "I saw him from across the street happy, with a family of his own. I turned and walked away." Sometimes love means releasing without resentment. But Tanya's voice trembled. "Don't you feel angry or lonely?" "I did," Soraya replied, "until I learned 3 truths that steadied my spirit." She lifted a hand, counting gently on her fingers. "First, accept what you cannot change. I cannot bring back my husband or force my son to remember me, but I can choose not to let bitterness live inside me. I chose peace over pain. Second, be thankful for what remains. I may not have riches, but I have these birds, this ancient tree, the sky above, and a heart that still feels. Gratitude isn't for the wealthy, it's for those who are awake enough to notice. Third, give even when you feel you have nothing left. I feed these sparrows. I help the village children with their letters. I share herbs with those who are unwell. In giving, I remember that I still have something to offer. Giving reminds me I am alive, and that I matter." Tanya listened, and something tight inside her began to loosen. The setting sun painted the sky in gentle colors, and for the first time in weeks, Tanya felt her lips curve into a smile. "Thank you, grandmother," she whispered, taking Soraya's wrinkled hand. "You've mended something in me tonight." They sat together as stars emerged, sharing stories, laughter, and tears. When Tanya returned to Mumbai, her problems had not vanished, but something within her had shifted. She began each morning with a quiet moment of thanks. She stopped chasing those who had turned away, and she started offering small kindnesses to others who were hurting, just as Soraya had shown her. True strength is not the absence of sorrow, but the presence of purpose. Life may bring loss, disappointment, loneliness, but we always have a choice in how we meet it. Soraya's story reminds us, peace is not given by perfect circumstances. It is built, day by day, through acceptance of what cannot be changed, gratitude for what remains, and kindness shared even when our own hearts ache. We often wait for life to become easy before we allow ourselves joy, but sometimes, life becomes lighter because we choose to smile anyway. In quiet moments, in simple acts of generosity, in the courage to release what was never ours to keep, we find a joy that cannot be taken. Choose that joy, not because life is easy, but because your heart deserves peace. Carry this with you when everything feels broken. Remember Soraya's 3 truths. They are not a shield against pain, but a compass through it. Your heart is stronger than your hurt. Your peace is worth protecting. Choose it again and again.